evening all, hope everyone's well. We're not going to be able to go around to everyone, so many people here tonight, so we'll kick off with Nick from Hooters.
Mikel, is that what you meant by attacking the Premier League and not defending the title?
Yeah, it was a lot to like in the performance. Obviously, it's a great result, but the manner that we started the game with such a domination, clarity, understanding, and flow in the game, it was really impressive. So yeah, it was great because the start is always tricky. We played a team that had a long time to prepare as well, and they are really good at what they do. But I've been really impressed with what I saw today.
And even without a few players injured, you've got that old axis of Ben White, Martin Ødegaard, and Saka sort of coming together, producing goals.
Yeah, we missed them last year. We didn't have them at all. I don't think they played 2 or 3 games together. So it was good. It was about the connection between players, what I really like. The inside unit, the outside ones as well. Kai, I think, was exceptional as well. We had some big individual performances, and that's something that we've been demanding at this level. I think the players have to be decisive, and they were certainly decisive today.
Tom, Football London.
Just building on from what Nick said there, I think Kai, Bukayo and Martin who all scored the second start in the Premier League since December 2024. It shows you how little you had. We talk about transfers a lot, but having the players that exist available must be so key to you.
And the main focus has to be that to improve our players and improve the connection between them, because they are already so good. And yeah, when we talk about attacking inputs, last season we missed some of those players for a lot of months, you know, and the team still had the ability to perform and win a lot of matches, and when we have them there, that's a bonus.
Amy, Athletic.
Hi Mikel,
Hi.
did you sense a different feeling in your group when you come here as champions compared to last year with all that stress and all that desire and all that?
They keep asking me. They look exactly the same to me. Inside of each player, I don't know what's going on. What they transmit is more desire and more will to improve, to be better, and to earn the right to be better than anybody else, and that's what we want to do.
You think they looked a bit relaxed in the way they were?
I don't like a lot. They can flow, relax. No, I think they need to be with the right level of clarity. They know how to do it. They know what they have to do. They look really connected, and they play with a lot of purpose, which I really like.
Yes, and Daily Mail.
Hi Mikel, Christoph Solis seems to make such an impact today. Fans are already comparing him to
I can see that.
Can you see the comparisons at all?
Well, I love that a player that has been with us just for a few weeks gets this kind of energy every time he's on the ball. I think he's earned it. I think the way he has performed the last few games has been phenomenal. What he transmits as a player, so direct, so incisive, constantly. He wants to make things happen, and he has an incredible variety of actions in the last 30 minutes to decide and to make the right decisions. Even the spaces are sometimes really, really small. So very, very, very happy with him.
Alex, BBC.
Hi Mikel. Last season the fans at times there was nervous energy in the stadium, but tonight you've worked hard on unlocking that from the fans. Did you feel a different type of energy in the stadium tonight?
Let's see when we are 0-0 and when we are maybe losing a game, see how we react. Today was the start of the game, and the 2 goals, obviously a good platform for everybody to feel this way, but I think we all learned from the past as well, which what really helps the team, and certainly this kind of atmosphere in the stadium, it's just a joy to witness and to play football.
Hi Mikel, it seems the only bad news this week has been Bruno Guimaraes' injury. How long? There are some suggestions he might be out for sort of 6 weeks, 7 weeks.
No. We expect that not to be weeks at all. Let's see how he evolves this week. He didn't even want to stop. I mean, he wanted to carry on, and we start to understand the character of the player. But I don't expect that to be a big issue.
Okay, we'll do the last 2. Ed from Guardian.
You brought in Ezri Konsa, paraded him on the pitch. Now you've got such a strong squad. Is that quite an ominous warning to the rest of the Premier League that you've got such a strong squad now?
No, because when I look at their squads, they have such an incredible squads as well, and some of them much bigger than ours still. So we just look to improve and to do what we believe is right for us, and understand the players that we already have, the players that can give us an edge and improve us. And Ezri is certainly a player, because we are really, really light in the defensive line, and that was a massive risk to take.
Okay, we'll finish with one in Spanish.
Hi, in Spanish or can I be English?
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Hi, Mikel, congrats for
Thank you.
the win today, the victory today. When you see your team play like this and doing this kind of performance, do you feel that this Arsenal still needs to sign striker, kind of Julian Alvarez, for example?
As I said, I'm really happy with the squad that we have, and the main focus is to improve the players that we already have, because we already have a lot of good things.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank
guys,
you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Gracias, Mikel, enhorabuena.
Bye.
Hi, how are you? Okay, mate. Good to see you. I've seen you for ages. You all right?
Can we get started, Andy? Yeah.
Frank, Scots, the Premier League don't get much tougher than tonight. How do you assess that?
Yeah, tough. High level opposition, best team in the league last year, and they showed it. And they played like it. So yeah, really tough. A big experience for the players. A lot of starting players for us. It's their Premier League debut. So parts of the game were tough. Of course, we don't like the result, but it can happen here. I didn't mind the reaction towards the end of the game as it went on. You know, of course they're 3-0 up, but I saw some okay things there. And it's a big learning curve for the players today.
What are the main positives you can take from all that?
Well, they kept going, then kept going right to the end. And when I'm saying that there's Premier League debuts, the noise here at the start of the game was, you know, I remember that noise. It's different. It's different to the Championship no matter where you go. So those things are things to handle as a player. And we talked about it a lot before the game, but have to go through that and experience that. We're not a team with players that have been up there and up, you know, played at those levels. We've got players that are quality players that deserve to be here. They're going to have to take that on. And again, I think that's why it's a good experience for them and for us and for all. And the important thing for me is to remain positive, because Arsenal away will not define our season. It absolutely won't. But taking on the little lessons from it absolutely will.
And you know, how did it feel? The result aside, how did it feel walking out tonight? You know, on such a big occasion, isn't it, for the club back in the Premier League and all that sort of stuff? And you must have been immensely proud, you know, back on the world stage.
Yeah, it felt very good, because you feel it as you drive up to the Emirates. You feel the level go up, but it's also what you do. It's your job. So for me, it was. I'm very proud that we got back here, but now we want to go and do well. And, you know, and we've lost a football game. But in the beginning, yeah, the feeling was pride, but the feeling is try and go and do our job. And absolutely, the players showed the right application, the right desire to want to do their job. It was just a difficult game for us in different ways, and it didn't work out our way, which a lot of people have said before the game that might be the way it goes. We always want a bit more. We always want to compete and stay in the game longer, and we didn't. And when you lose the first goal, and even in the first half, I thought normally we would have that little bit more bravery at the bottom of the pitch to play and vary our game. In the end, we went longer a little bit. But I have absolute sympathy with the players, because the pressure's higher than it's for us. So we have to find better ways to get out of that. So we played against the best today, and that's a great level for us to look at now and then go, okay, where do we improve?
Andy, we should go there next. Yeah.
Hi Frank, I'm Tana from Beacons. I just want to ask about Taiwo Awoniyi, my countryman. What attributes do you think he brings to this team, where the team is currently right now, and what attributes do you think he brings that are new to the setup that you would be for the season? He brings
his attributes, I think, are quite clear to the eye, which is his strength and his power and speed, and also I think around the box, which he obviously couldn't get around there too much today. But I think he scores goals. He scored goals against my teams before. He also brings this kind of presence as a teammate. I saw as he left Nottingham Forest how much love the club had for him and his teammates, and that's what we need, to like good people who come in with that kind of energy. And I think he's going to be a big player for us. I'm very happy to have him, and I think it's perfect amount of minutes for him. He hasn't played so many minutes in pre-season. It's going to get better and better for us. But yeah, for those number 9 attributes that he has.
Hi Frank. You've obviously prepared thoroughly for this game. You had a corner after about 20 seconds. Well, Coventry are going for this, but as you said, Arsenal are very strong. What is it that makes this Arsenal side so difficult to play against?
Because they have a bit of everything. They're very, very good off the ball. The best out of possession team in the league last year. All the data backs it up. They close down all your passing angles very, very quickly. We've not been exposed to that as a team. So I think that's why I'm sitting here saying fair play to the players, and they'll take that on board. And then as they play, you can feel it on the side of the pitch. There's a high technical level, a high physicality about them, a great way of playing. It's very, very hard to high press this team, because if they'll play through you and rip through you. So we decided we want to be more in the middle of the pitch, and I thought we did some work really, really well to delay and then work the sides, and then they just need a few moments to hurt you. So yeah, a very, very all round just a strong unit that they've built.
Is that just Arsenal, or is that just the Premier League as a whole, do you think?
Oh yeah, no, it's a clear step up. We know that across the league, but Arsenal are the best at it. They proved that last year, and we felt that tonight. And sometimes you respect the opposition and say that.
Frank, we talk about taking lessons from this. Do you think having this test in time could actually be a good thing you had it first up, because it just shows them exactly what the level is straight away?
Yeah, maybe like it's good for the players. They understand that, and we haven't had a lot of defeats over the last season. You know, we had a few, but we always have a feeling of happiness in how we're playing and getting results. And I think the reality of football is not always like that. So for the players individually and collectively to feel that is, I think, is a good thing, and it's important that we support them in that feeling, because losing and feeling like a team is superior to you is not a nice feeling. But that's not the case forevermore. That's a high level. We know things we're good at. We know how effective we want to be in games. We have to show that going forward.
Any more? No.
All right. Thank you very much.